Hello, and welcome to Discovery Corner. I'm Claire Melvin. Pop the kettle on, pour yourself a glass of wine, maybe even put your trainers on or run a bath, and join me for another journey of discovery. This episode of Discovery Corner will deal with the sensitive topic of breast cancer. I am not a doctor or a healthcare professional, and so if you have any questions or concerns or comments following this, please seek medical advice. I'm just going to give a few breast cancer statistics as well. So breast cancer is the most common type of cancer in women in the UK. There are around 56,000 new cases diagnosed annually, and roughly 1 in 7 women will develop the disease in their lifetime. My guest today, Tracy, was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2024, less than a month before she was due to retire. So firstly, welcome, Tracy. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Claire, and thanks for inviting me.
So just before we go any further, I just wanted to say that if you have any, or if any questions that I ask make you feel uncomfortable, or something you really don't want to answer, then just let me know and we can move on to the next thing. So I started the show with a few facts and figures about breast cancer. And can you sort of start by telling me how much you actually knew about it before last spring?
Not an awful lot, as you can imagine. So I'm now 61. So at the age of 50, I started being called, like all women, for mammograms, because that's the time it clicks in. Although prior to that, I was aware that you should check your breasts every month, for any anomalies. And I had previously had a small scare in my probably mid-30s, but it turned out not to be anything,
Yeah.
sinister. So just carried on. I'd had 2 mammograms, and it was my third mammogram. And again, I just bounced in thinking, well, this will be fine, I'll be great. But then obviously had the diagnosis that no, it wasn't, and had a letter a week or so after my mammogram to say, please come back and see us because we found something suspicious. So yeah, that was a bit of a shocker. But no, I didn't really know like the statistics or the um what it would have,
Mm.
the actual ins and outs of it. No.
Um, and as I think I alluded to at the start, you were literally weeks, days, hours from retiring. And I'm imagining you had all these exciting retirement plans and things you're going to do and were looking forward to. So kind of, would you mind sort of sharing what happened, sort of how you felt, what you did?
Yeah. Well, so as you can imagine, I've always been someone that has gone for smear tests and all the screenings that I'm invited to because there is a reason for that. So went to the mammogram thinking nothing of it, got this diagnosis, and literally I had my mammogram on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. So won't forget that one in a hurry. And I had my official diagnosis, so where I went to see my surgeon on the 15th of March. So it was that quick. It was a
Yeah.
month really. But I had, because I'd been called back and had a biopsy and things, the nurse that was doing that sort of said to me, it looks,
Mm.
I'm pretty sure that you've got cancer. So I absorbed the shock of it because
Yeah.
obviously that it's a huge like what? Because she said,
Mm.
oh, after she'd done the biopsy, she said, right, oh, the actual official results will all go back to your surgeon and you'll get called back. And I was like, yeah, okay, then bye. I was like ready to jump off the couch and do one.
Mm.
And she said, oh, I think you need to prepare yourself. So
Gosh.
yeah, it was a shocker. And like you say, I'd suddenly gone from hey, I was counting off. I wasn't crossing the days off, but you probably are.
Yeah. In your head. Yep, another one
Yeah,
gone.
yeah. That one's yeah. And I hadn't quite got the calendar on my desk, but yeah. So I was preparing for a life change.
Mm.
I'd worked for 35 years in my field and um, liked my work, but it was time to make those changes.
Mm.
My husband had retired previously, and we were ready to make those changes and step into the next chapter of our lives together. So yeah, it was it just, I don't know, it just kind of like somebody took a knife to it and
Mm,
or a pair of scissors and said, no, forget that. You're going to have to stay on this page and you're going to have to stay on the illness page, the
mm,
cancer page. So yeah, it was, yeah, I think you're probably a bit numb, sort of
yeah.
numbed you, a bit more than a local anaesthetic, I think.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, it
Um,
was difficult.
and I think sometimes when you're faced with a diagnosis of something that you don't really know too much about, you kind of one of the first things you think, oh, we'll just go to Dr. Google. Is that something that you did, or did you think actually I don't want to do that?
No, I mean, the good thing about living in the UK and being, access to the NHS is once you have a diagnosis, you are given a dedicated team. So you have um, your surgeon, well, I had surgery, and a dedicated breast cancer care nurse.
Hmm.
So you immediately meet that team. And I wasn't tempted, no, because they said to me, don't,
Yeah,
you could, because when they see you, um, they've they've already met with a multi sort of a medical team. There's not just your surgeon. There's not the
yeah,
cancer nurses. There's oncology. There's all sorts of people because obviously cancer attracts different forms of treatment.
mm,
And they'll say, "Don't. You can, but don't." And
mm,
I didn't.
yeah,
I trusted in what they told me. They're the specialists. They're the medical team. They dealt with it. That's their thing.
yeah,
They deal with it daily. So I didn't. I was tempted, but I didn't.
yeah,
And I don't think any time I've really probably used the internet is to find links to dedicated cancer charities like Breast Cancer Now and
mm,
Macmillan and the recognisable ones.
yeah,
Um, I didn't. I trusted in my team, and they do give you. You come away after your first appointment with a pack
mm,
of things, a proper dedicated pack where you can record your appointments and treatments and things.
mm,
So yeah, no, I trusted with the medical profession and stayed away from the internet. So yeah, no,
no, no,
is
no to
the
Dr.
answer to that
Google.
one. Yeah.
Um, I think the next thing I sort of was kind of curious about was so what support was available to you? I think you've kind of probably alluded to the support from your team and your medical team and some of the charities and things, but I guess not just you, but also when you have a diagnosis, it also impacts those around you. So sort of, I guess, was there also support for like your family and kind of areas that they could turn to?
Yeah, I think the team themselves, my nurse, said, took my husband's number and said, you can ring me anytime. So she's a
Mm,
dedicated, my nurse, but she was also, she said to my husband, if you've got any um, issues or problems or you want to talk about it. And because you're in such a state of shock when you get a diagnosis and when you then subsequent appointments and things, you
mm,
always take someone with you. And
yeah,
my husband was that person. Um, and yeah, he was in a state of shock as well, as you can
mm,
imagine.
yeah,
So, but he was able to be a little bit more logical about it and,
mm,
a level sort of, and take note of what was being said and
yeah,
help me understand it. So yeah, there was support for him, but it was very difficult. I mean, my family were very good. They drew round us, as you can imagine.
mm,
I've got a extended family. I've got sisters and sister-in-law, brother-in-law, children and that. So they drew round, and that was good. But for them, it was a
mm,
something that they didn't expect in their lives. Their mother or whatever sister to be diagnosed. So yeah, it was. There is, and the more you kind of get into it, the more support there is there. And
mm,
sometimes you have to look. So the medical team are great. They don't just give you the medicine or give you
yeah,
the operation. It is a wraparound service. Each hospital where I live in my area, there is a Macmillan team there as well.
mm,
So if you've got any questions, you could meet with that team. So it was a complete service. You didn't always meet with your consultant or
Mm.
your surgeon. You always also met with the nursing team, and they again were more that one step down. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they were able to help. So slowly, yes, I think say to start with, it's like someone slaps you around the face, and you sat back on your heels.
Mm.
But then slowly, um, yeah, each step of the way, whichever part of it you're in, be it
Yeah.
surgical or oncology, chemo, radio, whatever your treatment you're having, there is a support system
Mm.
there, but it can feel very lonely.
Yeah.
But I did. There was a great forum on breast cancer now, where you can join, like at the month of your start of your treatment. So all
Mm.
the September ladies,
Mm.
so you're all working through at the same time, because a
Yeah.
lot of you are having the same. Some you might be having surgery. Some people have chemo before surgery, but so there was always that group of people who were having the same thing happening to them, and that was a really good support mechanism,
Mm.
because you did always wonder, oh, is it just me
Mm.
feeling like this, or
Yeah.
is that normal to feel like this, or is
Yeah.
it normal for your nails to be painful, or your hand, or whatever,
Mm.
and
Mm.
it was so nice to. There was always somebody around as well, even if it was the middle of the night.
Yeah.
There's always somebody online these days. So yeah, that was a good support
Yeah.
mechanism when I was actually right in treatment. Yeah,
And I suppose that helped because they understood, what you were going through. Like your family and friends could sort of see it from the outside, but they were actually experiencing it sort of firsthand, almost alongside you.
yeah, the symptoms,
Yeah.
each part of it, or if you'd had surgery, and you I don't know, had a drain fitted or something, and
Mm.
just those things that you think, you don't. Although the medical team say ring, and they really mean it, they do say ring us any time. There's
Mm.
some things you think, oh, I don't want to ring you. I
Yeah. No, of
want to talk
course.
to somebody who's in the same boat as me. So yeah, so that was good. Yeah, yeah, that was a good thing. And say it was the outside people around you. They're great,
Hmm.
but they're not actually experiencing. They can see it, and
Yeah.
probably it's hard for them because they can see
Mm.
you so ill, but they're not experiencing those things, those symptoms.
And did you find for some of the people that knew you, sort of, did they necessarily know what to say to you? Did they treat you differently? Did some of them maybe step back a little bit? How did you kind of find when you told people?
Yeah, you have some varying strange reactions, and you
Mm.
think, oh, yeah, but people don't. On the whole, you mentioned cancer, and there seems to be a one-way street
Mm.
down to the end of the graveyard, sort of thing. So it's
Mm.
like, hang on a minute, actually, survival rates now,
Yeah.
um, and people, yeah, who have died and gone before, but all that stuff, what I mean, has led
Mm.
to much better survival rates, the treatment and things. So yeah, so I think people did find it hard. Um, and I was never, because there is always a choice. You don't have to tell people.
Mm.
And but I thought, well, what is there to be gained? I
Yeah.
did think there was a lot, but it is a very personal thing.
Mm.
Some people don't want to, hard thing to face, because you
Yeah.
are facing your mortality as well, because mm,
Mm.
they're telling you the percentage of your survival is, because they're
Mm.
very open and honest
Mm.
about it, that, they have nothing to gain by saying, oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Take a few pills, you'll be fine, because you may not be,
Mm.
depending on,
Yeah.
size of tumour, where it is, what treatment you have, etc. So they're very open and honest. Yeah. So I was tended to be quite
Mm.
open and honest with people, which was difficult sometimes for the person that used to ask
Yeah.
me, how are you? Well, actually, today I'm not well. I,
Mm.
feel this, and this. And people, oh, and so yeah, it's difficult. But I think everything people said to me, even though some of the things you thought, sorry, you're telling me about somebody you knew that died of cancer. Really? Do I need to? I
Thanks.
don't think I need to know. Yeah, I need to know that. However, it was always said with the best intent.
Intentions.
Yeah. even if it was like,
Mm,
really, I don't need to know that. Yeah. Because yeah, my father died of cancer. My mother had breast cancer. My sisters
mm,
had breast cancer. My brother-in-law died of cancer. So I'm not immune to it in my
mm,
own life. I hadn't been immune to it, so I understand that. But yeah,
yeah.
sometimes at the time it was like, what? But anyway, so everybody's intention was the best.
Mm,
So yeah, and you could. I was never one to take offence.
yeah. And then,
Yeah,
but I suppose at the beginning when you're telling people, you're almost like reliving it yourself and go, "Oh, I have cancer," and it kind of either helps it sink in or makes you kind of go, "Hang on a sec, did it...
I don't need to be repeat on repeat.
No."
Yeah, and yeah, it was difficult to. I think I got my sister to tell my closest group of friendship group. We have a friendship group, and I think I
Mm,
got her to sort of break the news to them,
yeah,
because there was lots of tears, as you can imagine, and
yeah,
upset for everybody, for me
yeah,
and for them.
yeah.
It was kind of hard for them as well to see somebody they know and love going through it.
Mm,
So yeah, it was a strange old time, but yeah, and at times you did want to sort of think, I don't want to talk about this today.
mm,
Yeah, people would ask you, and I was always saying, well, what are you doing? I want to
yeah,
know what you're
yeah,
doing because I know what I'm doing. I'm sitting here on the sofa after having treatment, or
yeah.
I'm facing an operation next week or something. So I'd much rather just talk about every
Something
day.
nice. Yeah,
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 what have you been up to? Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
a
absolutely.
balance I think to be had.
Mm. And I think so with the benefit of sign hindsight, would you have done, I guess, anything differently than you did?
Having gone through it now, it's a whole journey. Probably not because it's very difficult to change the route,
Mm,
if you know what I mean. I did question when I had so I had a lumpectomy, which was much better than a mastectomy, but I had a
mm,
lumpectomy and I had a node clearance, and then I had a test to see what the predisposition of my cancer, so personal to me,
mm,
would be like for it to come back. And then sure enough, it came back with a high enough score to say that I then had to have chemotherapy,
mm,
which wasn't expected. I just thought I was going to have lumpectomy, radiotherapy, and then some
mm,
tablets for 10 years or whatever that would have been it. So that was another step. And it was like, but we've got rid of your cancer. It's gone. We've
mm,
cut it out. For all intents and purposes, you're cancer free. However, it's an adjuvant, like a preventative thing to
mm,
stop it coming back. And that was difficult. And I did question the medical team at that point. Well, if I have it, what are the pros and cons? So how does it increase my chances of survival
mm,
of having it? What if I choose not to have it?
yeah,
And they do. They give you they calculate your chance of your survival from treatment for the next 5, 10 years,
mm,
and it's there. You can, I think it's Nottingham University did like a calculation thing. You put all
mm,
your results in and everything. Um, and so they did give me the percentage chance and she described it as like if 10 women are stood here now alive,
mm,
and you didn't have it, you could be one of the three that didn't survive, but it might increase it by, there could be nine left next year. Do you know what I mean? And they
yeah, yeah,
described it like that for me. But we did question it, me and my husband, we did have a big think about it.
mm,
So, but it's really hard to go against medical
yeah,
proven medical advice.
mm,
Women have, gone down this route. But I don't think I would have done anything different in terms of the way it played out because say you can't. It's been described as me as you are trapped into a roller coaster ride and that's it.
mm,
That's it. You can't get off. You
mm,
cannot get off until it's over.
yeah.
So you'll come through. If you've ever been on a roller coaster, you whiz it off, don't you? And depends if you like them or not. Some people do. I'm not a huge fan, but
I don't like them.
yeah, you're relieved to get back and get off. at whatever point, but you don't. You just keep
Mm.
whizzing through the
Yeah.
stations, and I think, sorry, off you go again. Off you go. So yeah, it was hard to say I would have done anything different
Yeah.
or approached it differently. I think I was very, I sort of just allowed myself to, if I felt ill, I was tired or whatever, that was it. I didn't
Mm.
force it or push it or
Mm.
anything. And I think some people, well, as you can imagine, I retired. So
Mm.
that was an advantage in so much as I hadn't got work to worry about.
Yeah.
But what if you've got children,
Mm.
a job, and all of those things? So I can imagine it playing out differently for women in a different situation,
Of course.
than myself. So I think I weathered the storm fairly well.
Mm.
Not when I was in it. I felt like somebody was chicken buckets of water over me all the time. But yeah, looking back, reflecting, I think I weathered it quite well.
Yeah. And if the Tracy of you today could speak to the Tracy of you from 18 months ago, what would you say to her?
Um, Hold tight.
Mm.
Don't give up. Don't, because
Mm.
there are dark, dark days where you just, and it wouldn't matter what anybody said to me. My husband used to say, it will, all things pass, and they
Mm.
do. They all play out one way or the other. Um, Sometimes with not the ending we would want, but
Mm.
um, they do pass. Um, and I used to say, no, I couldn't see. You can't see it when you're in it.
Mm.
You just can't. You get sort of bogged down in the mire. So I would have said to her, just hold tight. And in some ways, I did. I described it to my sister and I felt like a chicken sat on a nest, like a little bird. I couldn't.
Mm.
I just had to sit there, sit tight, not move, and put up with everything they threw at you or did to you.
Yeah.
But just if you just hold tight on your little nest,
Mm.
eventually you can get off and carry on. But you just need to be like you almost wrap your arms around you and think, oh, just hold very still.
Mm.
So I would just say, yeah, hold tight, Faith. It, you will come through.
Yeah.
Reach out if you need. If you feel like you're drowning or the
Mm.
you're going overboard, that's the time to hold on to somebody else as well, their hand,
Yeah.
and just put your life jacket on, because it does, it's quite lonely as well.
Mm.
You feel like you're on your own, but you're not, and somebody will always help you. But yeah, so it's hard because, like I say, when you're in it,
Mm.
don't matter what anybody said to me, it was like, but you're not here. But yeah, looking back, just hold tight. It will play out eventually, and you'll get through the other side.
Did you, I guess, must have had moments of, I guess, joy throughout this because you can't just be dark and gloomy and miserable the whole time. So how did you look for those little pockets of joy and happiness? Where did they come from?
Just feeling a bit better one day.
Mm.
I remember after having, I think it was my first or second surgery, it was my first surgery, my husband decided, no, he didn't decide, he'd already booked a golf trip. I was like, but you were leaving me. I just, and I was okay. I mean, I was okay. But I went to stay with my daughter, and it was sunny and that. And I just
Mm.
remember sitting in her garden, and she set it all up for me. She put up a parasol and
Yeah.
she got her nice lounges out, you know, um, and just sitting in her garden and appreciating that I was there in the
Mm.
outside, sitting in the sun. My daughter was there, close
Mm.
by. I was being looked after.
Mm.
Um, and you just look for those. You just have to breathe in those moments.
Yeah.
And I remember I was writing in response to a letter that I'd received from a colleague
Mm.
who I used to work with. And it was just so nice to handwrite
Mm.
a letter, to sit and write and write. You don't realize, I think, how therapeutic as well, writing it down,
Mm.
just writing about saying thank you for, she sent me a little knitted cactus that says you're stronger than what you know, and etc.
Mm. Mm.
And just write to say thank you, and yeah, I've done this and I didn't expect that. That was that sort of small moments like
Mm.
that. Yeah, and being able to do that. I mean, the medical team recognise you got some life as well.
Yeah, of course.
Um, uh, and so there was times when I said, I'm not having chemotherapy today, thank you, because I want to do something else, and they were
Mm.
fine. So yeah, just small things, normal
Mhm.
things brought me more joy than
Yeah.
holidays or whatever. Just not feeling a bit normal, or maybe just going out because quite when you have chemo, obviously your immunity is compromised,
Mm.
so that's quite hard. But um, I had it every 3 weeks to start with, so
Yeah.
just before I had it, my team used to say, "Look, if you need to go shopping or you're healthier now."
Yeah.
So we
Go
did
out
do
now.
things. Yeah, get out while you can. Yeah, before
Yeah.
you get your next dose of poison. But so yeah, I would say, and that continues now. The small things,
Yeah.
chatting to my friends, having a laugh, catching
Mm.
up with a bit of gossip. Just yeah, I went to my sister's. Yes, we had a barbecue, and just the
Mm.
simple sort of life, just normal
Mm.
life stuff. Really, sometimes you don't appreciate that until, like you say, you've
Mm.
looked at the other side, you've seen the bus coming towards you. But yeah, that's how those things were my little joy moments,
Mm.
sparky moments. I enjoyed those. So yeah, it's not all. It can't be
No. No.
because you wouldn't get through it otherwise.
No.
Now, I'm not saying if your diagnosis is a different one, but then even if your diagnosis is not a good one, the outcome, I'm sure there has to be a small,
Mm.
there has to be, I would have thought, but I don't know. So I didn't face that diagnosis. I had the best outcome and the best diagnosis
Mm.
possible, that they got it quickly with the lumpectomy,
Yeah.
and then all the rest was a belt and braces job. So
Mm.
that was good. So I was able to enjoy those moments as
Mm.
well, which I'm sure some people can't. But
Yeah.
I also had to kind of, because when you go into any of the units, like I was in acute oncology unit, obviously some people are there, their journey, you can see it yourself in front of
Mm.
you, and that's
Mm.
hard not to feel survivor guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, yeah, but you can't because it's you. You
Mm.
have to like be a bit selfish as well, which is not, it doesn't come easy, I don't think, to any of us.
Mm.
We're not, I don't think, well, as women particularly,
Yeah.
somebody gave us a caring gene,
You can give
rightly
everyone
or
else but
wrongly.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, so how do you feel that your experience has shaped, I guess, your goals, your priorities, sort of moving forward?
Yeah, embrace things. Just don't say. I wouldn't say. At the moment, I'm in the. Do you want to go here? Yes. Fancy a little holiday? Yes, I'll book the Airbnb. I'm at that. Yeah, I'm at that stage
You'll do
where I'm like,
everything.
yeah. And I've got to be careful because I am still in recovery.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering. I'm still having therapy as much as I take in
Mm.
tablets and that,
Mm.
which have some side effects. So um, some days feel like you're never symptom free,
Mm.
but but yeah, I'm like yeah, I just think I'm just in a period of adjustment. I would say at the
Mm.
moment, I've given myself time to rest, recuperate, rejuvenate in effect.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward. You know that
Mm.
from last year, we had to defer a holiday,
Mm.
which we've done this year. We've travelled, which was fantastic. So I'm just allowing myself to enjoy those things,
Mm.
not overdo it. But I don't know. Me and my sister have almost had an aim that we would try and do something every month,
Wow.
a small trip or something. And we have more or less. We've had some fun. I was in Cardiff last week watching Tom Jones at the Cardiff Castle. I mean,
Gosh.
it's
He's
great.
still going.
Yeah, yeah, 85. Yeah, he sang a
Wow.
lot of songs about age and the wisdom of age.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, just moving on and just wondering where my life will take me. I didn't have time to adjust to my retirement,
Mm,
so I was straight into that. I was
yeah.
ill basically for 12 months. So now is my time to just let it roll for a bit.
Mm,
I think not over plan.
mm,
So I'm still a bit physically. I'm not quite back to where I was, and whether I ever will be, I don't
yeah.
know. But I'm not gonna again. I'm not. Don't beat myself up about
Mm,
it. I haven't got to rush back to work. I can just
no.
take my time. And like today's a lovely day, take the dog out and
Mm,
just, enjoy that time.
mm,
And I've got a few things I want to do around the house and just generally get on with life, I
mm,
think, without the sort of Damocles hanging over me. And
of
that's the
course.
other difficult part. You've got to let that'll take a while for it to move away. So every
Yeah.
time you have an ache or a pain or a cold or something, it's not what you think it is, you
Mm,
know. But again, it's about balance. Life on the whole is about balance. And
mm,
sometimes it always swings the wrong way for us all, like
yeah.
too much work, too much pressure, and then that's fine. But then somebody will throw in something else as well,
Mm,
there'll be an illness or a relationship breakdown or something else that's
mm,
just pushes those scales too far down. The weight becomes intolerable.
mm,
And it's about taking some of that weight off yourself sometimes and recognizing that. So yeah, just getting my balance nice and
yeah.
balanced, you know. I want to be on the lighter side as well. So not if weight, well, personally it'd be great, but life. I want to be on the light side of life, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
No,
The lighter
absolutely.
side, yeah. Yeah, not carrying heavy
Yeah.
loads with me.
You've
I
done
want
all
to
the heavy
really,
lifting. It's time just to, you know,
yeah,
put it all
relax
down.
a bit.
Um, and are there any sort of lifestyle changes that you've made or adjustments that have kind of come your way?
Well, I stopped drinking completely for 12 months while I was in treatment because chemotherapy is quite nasty on your kidneys and your
Mm,
liver and that. So I also didn't add to that, and I haven't stopped drinking altogether. Had a
mm,
couple of glasses of beers and things and that, but maybe that just healthy again, just getting the balance back, just
mm,
eating healthily again. I'm
mm,
really enjoying. In fact, I'm enjoying eating well because I
yeah.
feel well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think. Yeah, just I'd say I've got the luxury of taking it easy,
Mm,
slow it down a bit, because we live life at a fast old pace. And
mm,
I've been choosing not to watch as much news because I
yeah.
find I'm very emotional now. I
Mm,
can't, I always, cry at the toilet roll advert or whatever, I can't. But I also can't take on, I feel I haven't got the capacity anymore to take on a lot of weight of sadness,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Mm,
Before, I think, like you say, you were going through life at a hell of a pace, working sort of traveling to, so you weren't, although like things were happening, they passed through very quickly because you were on a fast journey as well.
mm,
Whereas now, because I'm not so rushed, I have time to really think a bit more about those things. And I find some of them just do not that I think you should ignore everything because
mm,
you are invested in this life, in this world.
yeah.
But yeah, just maybe filtering it a bit,
Mm,
saying today or this week I can't watch it. I can't watch that. I
yeah.
can't listen to that. And that's the problem at the moment as well. Everything is like instantaneous,
Mm,
isn't it?
dim and gloom. Yeah.
Yeah. So my lifestyle changes, say healthy eating, getting a balance again, and
Mm,
just choosing, being a bit more choosy,
mm,
and not feeling guilty.
good. And just sort of coming to I guess our last question really. So what's next for you? What does I don't know the rest of
What's next?
2025 hold?
Um, well, I'm going to Italy
Nice.
next week. So I'll be ciao bella, prego, all that next week. I'll be indulging in the gelato and
Sounds awful.
Pinot Grigio, whatever. We're going to Florence and it's that
Yeah,
we're going to Tuscany. And then I'm
nice.
going to Gibraltar at the end of September to watch my favourite sport, which is netball, the
Hmm.
netball youth Cup is being played in Gibraltar, so that's a
Wow.
good excuse to go there and have a holiday.
Hmm.
And just I think say um, say yes to opportunities that come
Mm.
up if they're suitable,
Mm.
um, and not just get through the rest of this year. I think
Mm.
because having only finished my treatment at the end of March, really, I
Mm.
think I just need the rest of this year to sort of adjust
Yeah.
myself and just feel how I feel. And I always find as winter approaches as well, the way you approach life is slightly different because you
Mm.
are a bit more indoors, but we've got a dog, so makes us
Yeah.
get out, which is a good thing. So we'll keep doing that.
Mm.
Yeah, just enjoy my time with the family.
Mm.
Yeah, and my friends. I've got a friend coming to stay in October. And I'm very much looking
Marvelous.
forward to that. Got lots planned for her.
Excellent.
Yeah. So just ease back into life and then
Yeah.
see what the new see.
Mm.
I mean, it's a bit of a thing, isn't it? New year, new
Mm.
me, and all this. How many times has that all crumbled? Your resolutions. But I'm not a resolution girl. But yeah,
No, I'm not.
just just get back to a new normal
Yeah.
because it won't be the old. It's not the same.
Mm.
It will never be the same because on the 13th of February last year, I didn't know I
Mm.
had cancer, and on the 14th, you know, I did.
Mm.
It's like that. So
Yeah.
you weren't, and now you are, and you're never going to go back.
No.
But you can't keep looking back. You can't live in the past, but you also can't live in the future. So I
Mm.
think you've got to live for today and what that offers you,
Yeah.
and take the best from that.
That sounds great advice. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on Discovery Corner. Um, and in our show notes, I have provided some links to some of the charities that Tracy has mentioned. So thank you for your time, Tracy. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Claire.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you for spending your time with me today. Look after yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Stay curious and keep discovering.